Hello and welcome to Brodual. This time we have the thief trees for Ordinator. Finally, we've reached the last episode in our 4-part series for the Ordinator perk Overhaul. If you have no idea what this is, then check out our introduction video to the mod, which you can find by either clicking the annotation or by following the link down below. Unlike the other classes in Ordinator, the thief skills are affected by some broader changes to their core mechanics. The main aim is to make NPC behaviour more realistic, and to also lower those inconsistencies in sneaking, where NPCs wouldn't be able to see you in plain sight or where they'd stop searching for a hostile only a few seconds after an arrow hits their face. Your pickpocketing ability will now also scale better into the late game. Basically, these changes are found in most other thief overhauls, and this just saves you of having to install an extra mod that might not work so well with the new perks. So with that out of the way, let's jump straight into it with pickpocketing and lockpicking. The biggest difference in Ordinator is these two trees now incentivize theft. It's not just about making it easier, but it's also about hunting down treasure and using your instincts as a thief to find better loot. This starts off with some simple gold gaining perks that add more gold directly to loot. It's then built on with the addition of the Thief's Eye for pickpocketing and the Robber's Eye for lockpicking. These abilities work by randomly highlighting NPCs or containers that are more likely to contain better loot. It almost plays like a minigame that constantly keeps you on your toes, especially in the major cities and dungeons around Skyrim. The later perks build on your thief instincts, letting you choose a speciality, so you can become a jewellery thief, a weapon thief, or one of several other options. Then the actors and containers highlighted by your eye abilities will be more likely to hold that specific item type. So both trees share these similar instinct perks, and the type of thief you become is personalised as you make your way through each tree. For pickpocketing, you'll also gain the Death's Emperor, a cursed coin that causes the holder to receive much more damage. A later perk also lets you start a mutiny, causing 5 nearby targets to attack the holder of the coin. It's a really unique feature and it's a great way to create a distraction. And finally, the remaining perks let you manipulate your elusiveness as a thief, giving you power that makes any NPC turn a blind eye to your crimes once a day, handy for those goody two-shoes companions. The rest of lockpicking also adds a few new features. Several perks revolve around the bear trap. Early on you'll be able to pick up one bear trap at a time and place them anywhere. However, as you unlock more perks, you'll eventually be able to make them more powerful, bigger, and more effective for different targets. Then a master will be able to lure targets into his trap, carry multiple at a time, and also cover them with an extra effect, like poison or slow. Other perks focus on the hacking of dwarven automatons. You'll be able to pick your way into their mainframe to instantly decrease their health to 1 and shut them down for 60 seconds. Then later on, another perk will let you actually pick into their mechanical brains, causing them to fight for you until they're destroyed. So overall, the two trees offer many more ways to use your sleight of hand. Next up is Alchemy. As one of the crafting skills, you're given more options to let you further expand on your abilities as an alchemist. You can upgrade one alchemy lab into an advanced lab, where the potions and poisons you make are much stronger. Later perks will let you create your very own masterpiece, where the potions you make in a single sitting are stronger than usual. The final perk will then test your abilities to see if you can truly become a legendary alchemist. Upon getting the perk, you'll be imbued with a deadly toxin that deals 150 damage per second. If you survive for 3 minutes, you'll be heavily rewarded and your alchemy abilities will grow. On the other side of alchemy, you can become a mad scientist. Several of the new perks will offer buffs whenever you consume beneficial potions. These buffs stack and range from simple enhancements to speed, damage and regen, but experienced alchemists will unlock random and more spontaneous effects from some ingredients. All of these effects stack and can make for some really interesting mixtures, particularly before a big battle. You can also make use of an elemental oil that combines with destruction magic for various reactions. It can be an interesting addition to an elemental wizard's arsenal, or a great support skill for your LMH followers. Usually we see other mods adding bombs or other craftables to alchemy, but we like that Ordinator took a different route that's more spontaneous and experimental, just as an alchemist should be. The sneak tree is an interesting one. Early on in the tree you'll unlock the silent roll and damage multipliers for melee weapons. However, as you level up you'll build on each ability. The silent roll can be utilised in combat for a roll attack combo that deals more damage. Rolling will also negate damage for 1 second, giving you that slight edge to get away unscathed. A master will also drop grease as he rolls, causing NPC who runs over it to fall over. So the roll offers a lot more in terms of manoeuvrability on the battlefield. The damage multipliers will now work for all sources of damage, including magic. The amount will either be fixed or scale alongside your sneak level depending on the weapon. The tree also adds several new daily powers. You can make use of a tripwire that we showed in the introduction video. Later perks will also let you passively drop a tripwire whenever you enter combat. There's also a smoke curtain that lets you create a huge cloud of smoke that blinds all NPCs inside, preventing them from seeing sneaking targets. It'll also buff your sneak damage. Then there's the disengage power, and just as it sounds, it'll let you instantly force all enemies out of combat and from searching for you. And finally there's the whispering death power, which lets you meld into the shadows once a day, doubling your sneak powers. So sneak adds new gadgets and abilities that can be useful for pretty much any playstyle, but especially a stealthy thief. Speech is now the place to expand on your shouting abilities. This is a common addition throughout most perk overhauls, but Ordinator is a little different. On top of having the chance to lower the cooldown, you'll also receive buffs whenever you shout. A Master of Speech will even be able to combine 2 shouts for a short time once a day, leading to some pretty unique interactions. On top of that is a new performing ability that we briefly touched on in the introduction. It basically starts as a way for you to gain some spare change, but eventually grows into an ability that you can use to control NPCs, sending them into a dancing frenzy. Later on you'll also unlock Earthquake Drum, which can be played to both damage enemies and heal allies. If you've ever roleplayed as a bard and wanted to take a more active approach, this is definitely the path to take. Other perks focus on followers. You'll unlock the ability to tame wild animals to use as outdoor companions. You'll also get the Horn of Sovngarde, an ability that lets you turn 3 nearby friendly NPCs into your followers for a full day, which is a fantastic and quick way to set up a raiding party. And finally, the last of the perks cover bartering. With this you can make it so merchants of the same race will offer discounts, or use a one-time perk to create a permanent bond with a single merchant, resulting in cheaper prices. The last tree is Light Armour. Here you will find perks that cover unarmed combat. Early on your unarmed damage will simply scale alongside your level. However, later perks will essentially add a combo system, where you'll receive stacking buffs as you strike enemies. These range from buffs to stamina regen, movement speed and critical rate. A skilled unarmed fighter will also have their damage scale alongside their bonus movement speed. So it becomes a really fast-paced style of play, where you're constantly moving and hitting the enemy. You'll also unlock a cool elemental shockwave that'll hit all enemies around the initial target. You even get to choose the element when you unlock the perk. The rest of the perks mostly focus on agility and not getting hit. If you remember the new heavy armor tree from the last video, then just think of the exact opposite of that. Persistently not getting hit with light armor will lead to bigger and better buffs over time. It works really well with the new silent roll, and dodging incoming attacks repeatedly can send you into a mad frenzy of movement and attack speed. So overall the thief skills come down to a lot of personalization. A dozen useful trinkets can be manipulated in a variety of different ways, and plenty more. One of the things we like the most about Ordinator is that while it adds a lot of new perks, they mostly focus on 2 to 3 new core features for each tree, dedicating about 5 perks to each feature. This leads to exciting new mechanics with quite a bit of depth, like the Dream Illusionist from our Mage video, the Mechasmith from our Warrior video, and the Mad Scientist from this video. If you're finally interested in giving Ordinator a go, then you can find absolutely everything you need down below. As always, be sure to leave endorsements on any mod you enjoy, and just before we wrap up today's spotlight, we'd like to thank WeMesh for sponsoring this episode. This is a video watching app that lets you share and watch videos with friends in perfect sync. You can be anywhere in the world and the app just syncs it perfectly, and you can even chat via voice or text while watching too. To get it today you can find a link in the description or just search for WeMesh on your app store. That's all for today's spotlight. Be sure to check out g2a.com for some cheap games, and thanks for watching.